Okay, so I recently just finished Honkai Star Rail's 3.0 story, and I have quite a number of things to say about it. For starters, I'm seeing some people say it's a yap fest. It is not. It is not a yap fest, okay? There is not that much bloat. I will tell you this right now. There's way less bloat compared to, like, Penacony, which, while I love Penacony, I do admit there was some moments of bloat. Not as much as people claim, but it did feel like it. The only time I felt the story could be better explained was the background of the planet itself.
The very beginning.
Yeah, the very beginning. And again, once you go and see like the planetary signs and all the background lore, which is rather important for the planet, I do feel that should have been voiced. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I am not going to hold, I am not going to say the story was any less just because certain voice actors, could not make it. Honkai Star Rail has also stated that they will be having, other... It will be voiced in the future. It'll be patched in. Lane, I'm curious. What are your overall thoughts on the story? Let's start with you, because you basically watched the entire thing with me.
Yeah, basically. From what I watched and what I'm slowly starting to experience right now, definitely has a slow, like, it kind of slows, or on and off start. Because it starts off, like, you're actually getting into the action immediately, and then it kind of pumps the brakes quite a bit.
It kind of has to once you enter the city, to be fair. I don't think it's possible for a game like this to not, like, pump the brakes once you enter, like, the city area, because you gotta get to know the place a little.
It was good that we did start on a, like, more action-oriented, like, beginning.
I will say, Aglaya's interrogation put those, absolutely removed those brakes. It's like, oh, fuck.
Shit's getting serious.
Yeah, shit got serious again. I will say as well, it is unfortunate to not have March join us for now. But, considering how 3.0, ended, yeah, I'm probably gonna spoiler tag this,
yeah,
when
this is gonna be spoiler tag, because...
Yeah.
Wait, no, you should do like one of those. We review the Sonic 3 movie, spoilering everything.
I guess. Okay. What are your thoughts on Aglaya, Lane?
I kind of said this earlier on text, but she's let the divinity get to her head, not so much in like a better than everyone else kind of way, but in a like heavy sense of responsibility.
Well, it's not even that, because she said that her divinity literally eats away at her humanity.
Yeah.
Doesn't excuse her actions.
Yeah, she is, she's very hard to really, work with.
Yeah, I will be real with you. If it wasn't for... If I was in the Trailblazers, position, and it wasn't for the fact that March wasn't feeling well, I would have been like, okay, why should I stay here? Because you just threatened to kill me for an accident. An accident that you didn't stress how important it was to not have that there's worlds beyond the sky. Like, she even said, yeah, that's my bad. No shit, that's your bad.
Pretty sure she did stress not to have that happen.
Yeah, she stressed, she made us promise not to have it happen. Which, by the way, you know what? I will say as well, the Trailblazer and Dan Heng, their defense on why it happened. Now that I think about it, they didn't even explain how it was an accident. And
real quick.
that kind of bothered me.
Real quick, Don. Looks like you have something in your book up on the top left.
What are you talking about? Oh, that. I know.
Oh.
It's a bit of reading. I don't want to do it right now. I'll do it later.
All right, just making sure. But yeah, Aglaia, hard to work with. Very intimidating when you get her angry.
To be fair, Mighty did kind of foreshadow that when we were talking like to the Leo head or whatever. I remember him saying something like, "Yeah, nothing's gonna help you if you piss her off." I forget what his exact words were, but yeah. But again, that does fall on her. Yes, she did make us promise, but she didn't stress the severe, overwhelming importance of it. Also, I will say, I do not blame Trailblazer and Dan Heng for how that ended up happening with the camera. I'm gonna be honest, that probably would have happened to anyone.
Also, it kind of occurred to me, we are technically extraterrestrials to this entire planet.
Yup, pretty much.
Like, in a more industrialized society, I don't think we would get off with something just like this.
Yeah. And okay, like I was saying, I did not like during the interrogation scene how the Trailblazer and Dan Heng didn't at least explain like the context of how it happened. Cause do you feel Aglaia would have been a little more forgiving if it was just like, oh yeah, we let this guy take a picture for us. We didn't expect him to go through the photo album. That slipped our minds.
Nah, that is a issue of you needed to be more careful.
Well, I understand that, but again, I feel like that's... Your phone and such is such a daily item, even for the people here. I don't know. Again, I feel like she might have gone a little bit more lenient, but as we found out, actually, it was revealed later in her story that Aglaia had no intention of, like, killing us. Except, that's a load of bullshit. Because I looked up what happens if you actually answer wrong, and she does try to sentence you to death. Until Finon steps in and saves our ass. Also, I was 100% with Dan Heng when he said, "How do you expect us to cooperate with you when you've treated us so poorly like this?" Like, yeah, they messed up in having that leak, but they've also shown they've been trying to save people when they literally don't know anything about these people. So, I will say, Aglaia, paranoid as fuck. But in slight fairness, with what happens to people that tries to leave the place, I guess I can understand why. With like the Mad Titan or something striking people down that try to leave the sky. Castris, she's the best character so far, and it's not even close right now. Would you also agree with that, Lane?
Oh yeah, especially all the time we spent with her in the past Kremos
Yeah.
or Kremnos.
Yeah, past Kremnos, and especially seeing that there's a cost to like her life energy or such when she's trying to communicate with like the dead or let them pass on, and seeing it actually have a painful effect on her, that just made me be like, okay, so she is kind of an avatar of death, but you know, it's not like this unlimited thing. It's not like when Yuna in Final Fantasy X sends the dead away or you communicate with the dead. There's a very real cost to that. Also, I will like the twist they did that, you know, the humans might be responsible for the Titans going rogue. Like we saw that with the Titan of Strife. It was because of the humans trying to separate his divinity into separate parts that he eventually went mad.
Yeah.
Not to mention them revealing what Casterus, through talking to the dead, revealing that, oh, this big grand tournament or such for glory, it was literally just to strengthen their Titan, and it was a complete fabrication. We kind of got a hint of how messed up the humans could be when the Time Titan was really harsh on us. But that really put it into perspective. It's just like, is this a case where humanity caused its own downfall? Because it abused the higher powers? Because I feel like that's the angle they're going with.
That definitely would explain the hostility that one councilwoman had with Aglaya.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, the entire hostility of, like, yeah, you may be a demigod right now leading us, but I'm literally here to remind you that this is only temporary.
Yeah.
I could feel, like, the vileness, kind of almost the, a little bit of jealousy from, like, or from that, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like that you have all this power, so I'm going to remind you constantly that this is only temporary.
Obviously, you know, if this were an gacha game, I would possibly be wondering, is this place gonna get truly destroyed at the end? Because obviously it's a gacha game. They're not gonna do it. Actually, no. Let me specify. This is a gacha game where you explore the areas outside of the story. If this were Honkai Impact 3rd, and it just went from story to story to story, then I would kind of be wondering, okay, how doomed is this place? But because we're allowed to, like, roam around in the city and such, we know, yeah, this place most likely isn't gonna get destroyed. Actually, if they wanted to throw us off and still have their cake and eat it too, there's two versions of the cities. Destroyed, and you go into the past with the Time Titan power. I doubt they would do that, but it's something they could do. Okay. What was it next? Honestly, I thought the start of the story started off with a bit of a bang once we landed.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, it throws you into the action and then kind of pumps its brakes so that I can explain to you the lore. The action portion, it's like, oh, we're immediately meeting Finan. We immediately meet Tribby. Once we get into the city, we're in a fucking war zone. We find Mighty. Uh, and then right after Mighty, we find Castris. It's like we are being bombarded with so many characters that we know are going to be important later. Quite unlike Penacony, where it kind of takes a slow roll with its characters.
It definitely did. Penacony was very, very engaging, but in order to build up the plot, there was a lot of stuff they had to do in the background.
Yeah, I think the main thing is like it's comparing a murder mystery dinner theater to a grand heroes epic.
Yeah, which I will say. How do you feel about the hostility most people have towards us?
In Amphorius?
Yeah, in Amphorius.
I mean, kind of understandable. Like, we are people from literal unknown lands, and we can't tell them where we came from. So, yeah.
The other two locations too. The thing is, the other two locations where they were just nicer people.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I will say, Aglaia was right to not trust us. How far she went, not a very smart choice.
When we landed, Finan didn't, Finan didn't trust us at all to the point where he took our bat and broke Don Hung's spear.
To be fair, I think he broke it just because Don immediately tried to attack after he took our bat, which still.
Well, no, he wanted to disarm us to make sure that we weren't of any like actual harm.
And then he started to immediately trust us.
And well, honestly, that I was actually gonna ask, because that was led on by Tribby, who actually basically did trust us the moment that we got there.
Isn't that because she's kind of a divine oracle?
She's the high priest, yeah,
high priest.
and demigod of herself.
Yeah.
But I actually was gonna ask, what do you think of Tribby and her other selves?
I think she's an interesting character. When I first saw her, I'm like, oh. I thought she was gonna be kind of immature, but she kind of has like. She has Nahida's maturity, but not her brains, if that makes sense.
Well, apparently she's a teacher to a lot of people here, including Finan.
Yep. That's interesting.
And even the priest that from the town that her original titan was from, the town that she was a high priest of, he was even shocked that she looked so young.
Which one?
So you know the jackass priest who we had to save at the very beginning?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he was actually surprised that she looked like a child.
That probably actually has something to do with absorbing the Titan's divinity.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Though, like, it's weird because I also thought that might explain the fact that there's 3 of them.
That part I feel. Yeah, I feel that part has to be the divinity.
Well,
maybe.
I don't want to say that because apparently they have qualities from being Crisis heirs, and then they also have qualities from becoming demigods. Because like Mighty, he's not a demigod, yet he has a quality as a Crisis heir where he cannot die.
Is it that he cannot
or that
die,
he has
or he
like
just has...
he can die several times? I don't know if he has a cap, but
apparently it must be more than Hercules from FGO.
Apparently he might have a cap. We assume this entire time he has a cap.
Mighty the armadillo.
Mighty the Armadillo. Mighty, did not like him at first, but they actually showed he's more than just, yeah, too angry to die.
Now, the more you go through Kremnos with him, the more you see like just how much this place actually means to him.
Oh, and I absolutely loved the rivalry between him and Finon. That was some of the best stuff.
Finan's commentary was some of the best during that phase of the story.
It was.
I like Finan. I really like Finan.
So do I. Okay, shifting gears, and this is really going into spoiler territory. But man, I did not expect what we got for how we got, Mem. Us getting a flashback of us being with the Stellaron Hunters, and how much they treated us with respect. And them having to hit you in the heart. Who do you say goodbye to? Firefly or Kafka? Which, by the way, I did look up what happens when you say goodbye to Firefly, if you want to know.
I was gonna wait until I actually got there.
Yeah, do you want to know? It's precious.
I just want to know which one hit you more.
I'm gonna be honest, I think Firefly did. Because
Then
some people actually predicted what Firefly would say at one point. Because, again, Firefly was part of the Stellaron Hunters alongside us back before we lost our memories. So many people, you know, they wondered, well, obviously Firefly had to know that the Trailblazer was going to lose their memory at some point. But, yeah, I won't say any more than that since you want to go through it. But I will say, gosh darn, Kafka. How do people choose the answers that's like, I don't like you? I don't understand how they can have the heart for that. When Kafka shows nothing but care and concern for us. And granted, she did get us into a few messy situations.
I think it's because of the, like, original way that we were interacting with her, especially on the CN show, where she kind of just, like, laughed at us the entire time.
Again, I think she does that because she's like, oh yeah, the script says you'll be fine, it's fine. It's like, yeah, there'll be chaos here, but you'll be fine, you'll be fine.
I remember correctly, her people from her planet literally cannot feel fear.
Yeah. But, man, when Kafka showed that concerned look in the flashback, I'm like, I don't think I've seen her make that face before. Which really shows just how close of a bond Kafka and the Trailblazer had. Especially when Kafka said, you've always told me all your problems, and I've always been here to listen to you. And I'm like, yeah, she straight up is our mom.
Pretty much.
Gosh damn it, Hoyoverse, how dare you make us choose between our mom and our girlfriend for a final goodbye.
Also, a little bit of, like, interesting lore that's Silverwolf's technically the newest member of the Stellaron Hunters.
I can believe that. I can honestly believe that.
It's like she just got bored and it's like, yeah, I want to cause trouble. Why not?
Honestly, there's probably a darker reason for her joining. I swear there has to be.
I mean, there's literally technically darker reasons or more personal reasons for the others.
Yeah.
Well, specifically a darker reason for Blade and a personal reason for Firefly.
Yeah, Firefly is just, you know, I want to live. Kafka, I want to get rid of fear. Silverwolf, we don't know.
And Kafka, I technically don't think we know.
I believe she joined because Elio promised he'll be able to make her feel fear. Which I have a strong feeling that the moment she feels fear is when she either has to sacrifice herself for the Trailblazer or nearly sees us die. I really want to be wrong that Kafka will sacrifice herself for us, by the way. But I have a feeling. What do you think, Lane? Do you think that'll happen?
Oh man, it'll tear my heart out if it happens.
It will. It
Like,
will.
As I don't have like the deepest like connection to Kafka. Although that might sound weird considering I think she's literally the only limited character I have. Or no, her and Jade are the only limited characters I have more than one Eidolon of.
I think Kafka is a very interesting character, and again, her connection with the Trailblazer makes it even better.
Oh yeah, it's like I can believe their connection.
Yeah, I can 100% believe it. Again, people that choose no, I don't like you, Kafka, make absolutely no sense.
The thing is, it makes me want to know about the escapades they actually went on. Because, like, we saw them in a more casual setting, like, interacting with the Trailblazer. They never really show any of the stuff that they were doing as part of their expeditions.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see to see Sampo and why'd I say Sip? It's late at night, forgive me. Seeing Sam and the main character causing like so much destruction. Actually, now that I think about it, if that is the case, how come the MC has never had a bounty on them?
That is something that I've like really been wondering. We only saw one full-scale like operation that they've done prior to the game, and that was
not even that. Every single Stellaron hunter has a bounty on them.
Well, yeah, for individual stuff.
But
I'm talking about like a group operation. Prior to the like events of the game, the only one we saw was that one rebellion where like Kafka was on trial, and then suddenly a rebellion breaks her out.
Actually, now that I think about it, Elio probably forbid Stella from... Is it Stell or Stella?
I think it's Stell.
Yeah, I think it's Stell. Elio probably forbid Stell from joining on any missions that would get her a bounty, because he knew what was gonna happen with the whole memory erase thing.
The finality is a very interesting path.
Every time I hear finality, I think of Kiana now. But that also raises the question: what kind of stuff would the MC be joining the Stellaron hunters on if it wasn't anything that wouldn't raise their bounty or such?
I'm not sure. Like,
then again, Blade did say as well that Kafka sacrificed a lot for the MC.
Here's one thing. I may need to like go back and read more about the Stellaron hunters, because other than this Yen show, and technically the Stellaron that's inside us, we haven't really like heard about anything they've done with Stellarons.
That is true.
And technically, wasn't it Luocha who put the Stellaron on the Cien show?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so it's like the only thing they've actually done with a Stellaron was putting one in us.
Yep.
So we still got no idea like what their true interest in Stellarons are. Other than, them being the cancer of the universe.
So I'm gonna call it now. I feel like part of the past of the MC, which leads to them joining the Stellaron Hunters. I feel like the MC was abandoned at some point. I feel like the MC has a really tragic past before joining the Stellaron Hunters. Because there had to be a reason that Elio let him join. Besides knowing what would happen after they lost their memory. But I think gosh, that section was really short, but it really got our minds going. Again, not a section I expected, but one immensely welcomed. And I will give credit for that. Most people were focused on, oh, Remembrance, we're gonna see more of what goes on with March. I hardly heard anyone saying something about the main character. That was a...
Well, we knew we were going to get Remembrance Trailblazer. I guess
we didn't expect it to like involve their past though.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically we should have, because it's Remembrance.
We should have, but all of us
honestly,
were focused on March.
I think that's the thing, is that we are so focused on March that we probably, like, subconsciously thought, oh, it's got to be something to do with revealing March's past.
Which, yeah, we're definitely getting that since we saw her. Again, I've already said spoiler warning, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're already
crystallized
too deep into
in ice.
Yeah, she is frozen again.
Yeah. Also, I do like that Welt and Sunday, after we were stuck on the planet, aren't just there twiddling their thumbs. They literally were just like, Herta, we seriously need your help. What do we think of Finon?
I mean, I love the guy. Like, I really do. Like, just his personality.
I like him. Right now, he seems a little generic. Just a little. But I will say his rivalry with Mighty helped a lot there.
I was constantly wondering when Mighty was going to show up and actually take the place of Strife.
He's probably going to do that next chapter.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, oh no, they are like going further with this than I thought, with Finon taking up that mantle.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he has to complete a trial.
It's like, this feels way too soon for...
Yeah, it feels way too soon. That's the thing. It's like, we don't even know his past. Well, we got a taste of it.
I think that's what Finon was actually thinking about too. It's like, this doesn't feel like what it meant to be. Like that, like his doubts of, am I really a hero right now? I do not feel it deep within me.
Also, I will say, I did not. I expected his backstory to be a little tragic. Like, yeah, he apparently, lost his homeland and such. What I did not expect is to hear... Emmy, you okay there?
Yes.
I'm just wondering, because we can hear the background. Anyway. I was surprised to hear that Finon is struggling to do both a hero's duty and is also possibly driven by an incredible revenge. I did not expect that. Like, none of his personality portrayed, like, revenge or such to me. Did that surprise you as well, Lane?
Well, he keeps it really well hidden. I think that's maybe like why he has more of that like optimist or outgoing personality.
Yeah, when
he's constantly saying I think about my past every day. And like he doesn't want to like he doesn't want to show that it's constantly getting to him. He even said that he's tried to lie about it to Aglaya before. And it's like, do you think I fooled her this time?
Aglaya, even though she's lost her divinity, probably is just like, look, you've suffered enough. I'm not digging into that. That's something you gotta figure out yourself.
Lost her divinity.
No, I meant lost her humanity. That's what I meant to say. It's interesting, because when I heard his story, I'm like, you know, that's what would lead to the Kevin in Honkai Impact 3rd. So it's interesting for Honkai Impact 3rd players, because we have a point of reference of what happens if he does let these feelings of revenge possibly take over. I mean, Kevin wasn't driven by revenge, but he was driven by a soul desire, which really made him cold and calculating. Which I'm just gonna say, we're probably gonna see a very cold-hearted Finon at one point. And then he'll have to overcome that. Be a better hero and such.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. In the case of, like, the upcoming banners, I could definitely see them having Maide taking up the divinity, and that being a source of the powers that he puts on display in his gameplay.
Also, hi Hana. We're discussing our thoughts on 3.0's story.
It's like, from what they showed with like his ultimate, and I don't think he's done this in any of the cutscenes. Like,
we haven't seen any of the characters' powers in cutscenes except for Aglaya.
Yeah, Aglaya and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we've only seen like her golden threads.
And that's why I'm like, oh, if we are not seeing Mighty with that crystallized blood power that was shown in like his ultimate thing.
Yeah, because it's just like all of the heroes we're with, we hear they're very strong, but they don't seem to have like any special like properties to them.
Yeah, it still makes me wonder.
Except for Casterus. Because of her
they said
death thing.
They said Tribby actually did defeat their Titan. Even though it wasn't with it might not have been with brute force, but even so, Tribby would still be one of the strongest. And like, okay, I'm actually curious, because aside from what we've seen, I'm really curious to see like what her power could actually do.
Which character's power?
Tribby.
Tribby's power, huh? Well, she is able to open the gates, so she
basically
seems...
open wormholes wherever she wants in the world.
Oh gosh, she's the Hersher of Void. Oh yeah, speaking of like Hersher type references, how about that flashback of not Elysia? And then, near the end, seeing what looks like a portrait of her being stabbed through the chest, which looked very identical to how she supposedly died in Honkai Impact 3rd.
I'm actually there's a lot that to unpack from that entire scene with her, because like the whole thing with the card, like the reason that Maide keeps calling Finan the Deliverer because of that card.
Yeah, apparently, I forget which character said it, but some character said, yeah, it's out of joke, but in a way it's also respect.
Yeah. It's like the Deliverer will someone you will be a hero to the world someday.
Yeah. Again, everyone seems to be setting him up as the prophesized, like, strongest of them.
He is the isekai protagonist.
He is the isekai protagonist with a very dark past. Did we already discuss our thoughts on that? It's kind of weird how Herta's getting a banner now when she didn't do much.
Yeah, you brought that up. It's like, it's weird how she only ended up in the very end and didn't get too much screen time in actual Amphorius.
Yeah.
Or any. Like, she wasn't even in Amphorius. We just go back to the space station. But then we're like, yeah, but they also front-loaded a bunch of her stuff with the trailers on YouTube. And honestly, I think it's... Part of me feel like it's for the best that they started with Herta, because it's a character we technically already know in-universe. And that means that in the late...
I mean, her personality versus the dolls, bit of a difference.
Well, it's mostly, like, her personality, she channels them through the dolls, but when the dolls are with her, then yeah, you can see they have a stark difference in personality.
Oh yeah, definitely. She even seems nicer compared to the puppets.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll still degrade you, but...
Honestly, it feels like...
She won't leave you on reply.
Okay, there is one thing I wanted to note. In her voice lines, like, about certain characters, she actually is willing to admit defeat in some things. Like, she admits that Himiko is better at brewing coffee than her.
I thought Himiko's coffee was bad.
No, she actually... I can get the voice line in just a bit.
Nah, it's fine.
No, but she admits that Himiko is better at brewing coffee than her. She says that while she's better, actually, I'm gonna read the line about him. He's better than me in logic and finesse. I'm better than him in talent and achievements. For Screwlum.
So she's very, very prideful, but she also knows when to hold an L.
Oh yeah,
as rare as it is.
She sees Screwlum as an equal because they have their strengths and weaknesses.
See, the funny thing is, the puppet Herta does not come off like that in the slightest.
Oh yeah, when asked about Silverwolf, she says, "Who?"
Wait a minute,
said,
isn't that the same reply the puppet Herta has?
Huh?
Isn't that the same reply the puppet Herta has?
I'm not sure. She says, "I'll remember her name when she finally understands the game adults play."
The puppet Herta, or...
No, the Herta. That's the Herta to Silverwolf.
Oh.
Also, she says she's actually very interested in Welt. Because she says that people who wear glasses tend to hide behind them. And she has somewhat of an interest, but too much to do to where she can't dig into his past.
I mean, let's be real here. I think Welt's still stronger than Herta.
Yeah. When talking about you, the Trailblazer, she said, "I'm. Why is it that every time I start losing interest in you, you always pull something out? Are you doing it on purpose, or do you know what makes me tick?"
That sounds so... That almost sounds romantic. Welt has a literal black hole. He is always going to be stronger in lore.
That is true.
The thing is, it's... I remember when people were debating Acheron versus Welt, and after seeing what Acheron can do, I think Acheron might come out on top.
She has some respect for Asta, because Asta is an outstanding manager. Someone less skilled would have already let us geniuses ruin more than 10 spaceships.
Okay, I think we're getting off track.
I'm sorry.
Nah,
I was basically saying, like, yeah, it's
we get it. Herd up, puppet number 3.
Meh. No, okay, it's a character that we know from the lore. It's best to get her out of the way in terms of banners, so that they can focus more on the banners later in the patch when we're getting more and more into the new cast.
Yeah. Also, okay, we can finally get into this. If Honkai Star Rail is going to go the route of, like, Honkai Impact 3rd, when it comes to having,
These super long stories.
they need some kind of, like, visual checkpoint of how close you are to, like, being done with the story. Like, Honkai Impact 3rd literally has, like, a story checklist. It, like, shows you, oh, you've got this many acts to go through until you're done with the chapter. I didn't have a problem with Honkai Star Rail doing this, because its story before was, like, 3 to 4 hours. Enough to get done in a day if you really wanted to. But now... Gosh darn, Emmy, your cat. It is really up in your face. Okay, anyway, when it comes to Honkai Star... When it comes to Honkai...
I'm sorry.
Sweetie, it might be best if you mute yourself unless you want to say something.
Okay, fine.
Sorry about that. Okay. When it comes to yeah, I do. Would you agree, Lane, that if they're gonna have stories that take this long every single patch or most patches, that it should have some kind of visual checklist instead of that big thing in blue that says, oh, chapter 1 done once you go through all of it.
Yeah, they need a lot more of visuals checkpoints. It's like, okay, yeah, we're going to make sure you know this is the end of this mission.
Yeah.
And you're about to go on to the next one.
Actually, can't you go into the quest, like into the quest thing, and go into like the, I forget what the name is, but it shows you the timeline of events. Can't you just go there?
No. That's only for past stuff. That does not apply to current missions. And even if it was, it's a feature most people forgot probably existed. I forgot existed until you told me. Did you remember that thing existed, Lane?
The timeline?
Yeah, the
Took me a little bit to remember it, but I did remember it.
Yeah, handle it in a way where you need, like, some kind of way to see, not only have, like, okay, let's say, for example, what would I describe as, like, finishing, like, Act 1? It's, like, probably once, Lane, would you say Act 1 should be at the end of, the attack on the city, or right before the attack on the city?
Wait, when you say the attack on the city, you mean, like, when we first meet Caceres?
Yeah.
No, that shouldn't be, yeah, well, okay, it definitely should be, after the boss and when we meet Aglaya.
We want these acts to be divided, like, into, like, 1 or 2 hour chunks, with a part where it's just like, okay, you've gotten this far, Act 1 done out of 5, because it's minor. It doesn't affect, like, streamers like me who can marathon this, but it helps people that are just, like, you know, going through work and such. Because it's just like, alright, how far do I have to go in this story until, like, I go to bed or something, because there's many Okay, let me put it this way. The prior story acts did not show it was going to take this long to get through, which I don't have a problem with the length. I want to establish that now. I think the length is fine. It's a good story. It's fine. Again, we just need some kind of visual checkpoint that shows how much until we reach the end. Like, again, Honkai Impact 3rd, we have section... We have, like, Act 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we see, like, all the number of acts until we're done with the chapter. I think Honkai Star Rail needs something like that. Because I feel like it's to avoid a situation where people are like, alright, I should be done now. Once this thing says I'm done, I'm going to bed. Why is it not done 2 hours later? Again, just that visual checkpoint just as you go. Alright, I've gotten to this point. I'll pick it up later.
Actually, I want to say something, but it would be more of a sentiment against all the gacha games and shit. I don't know if I'm allowed.
Go ahead.
Okay, the thing is, I am against the idea of someone playing multiple full attention span gacha games like these Genshin's Endless, Star Rail Wuthering that just require you to use both hands and look at the screen all the time, and you need to be playing all the time. Thing is, if you play more of those, and considering how long the stories are for all of them, your attention span and your entire fucking life, I'm putting it bluntly, will be wasted in just those games. So the storyline doesn't help if you're invested.
I'm trying to wonder what your point even was.
It's just, are you sure that all of these checkpoints would help if the person is also playing other stuff? Like if Star Rail was their only game, sure.
There are a lot of people where Star Rail is their only game, though.
I hope so. I hope so. Those people are sane.
But again, Alright, Lane, let's take you for example. You have no checklist, you have no way of knowing how long the story is. Would you fall into the trap of being like, alright, surely I'm almost done a few hours later. It's still going?
Depends.
If it's on the weekend.
Well,
I mean, that's the main thing is like the people who insist on having to binge the entire chapter within one night.
you cannot binge this in a healthy way.
No, well, I understand this chapter, and that's one of the reasons people have been like so bitchy is because of the stark like length of this. I like okay, I can understand the annoyance of like how drawn out the school story was back in 2.6.
Yeah, that was
Like
uh,
that had storytelling issues
that wasn't even just
part.
drawn out. That was just painful.
Yeah, it was definitely
It was
the worst.
shit. Okay, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Except for the stuff
was,
with Boot Hill and Rappa, it was shit.
yeah.
Why did we even go to school?
Okay, my point is, I think a lot of people are like kind of projecting that a little bit on the fact that this story is also long.
Which again, we have no issue with.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it being. I don't have an issue with it being long. The story is good. The story is, or like, honestly, I still think that it's better than the beginning of Penacony.
I would agree there. And one thing I will also give compliments to, although this is me with how easily I get disoriented, the puzzles are a lot more merciful to you.
The dungeons are.
Yeah, and it's nowhere near as confusing, thank goodness for that.
And you know, for people like you, they have the hint button for puzzles.
Yes. Look,
I
could solve a... Look, I was able to do the platforming one where it's like, oh, lead this one here. It's like, that one doesn't have a hint, but I'm glad they realized, even though Genshin handled it better with the same puzzle, that, yeah, people need hints for that, which... that's another thing to go into later. Again... If these stories are gonna start being 10 hours per patch, we need visual checkpoints. And no, seen on the side, oh, you got your little prizes and it says, oh, this little thing here. No, it needs to be wide in our face, like Act 1 done or such like that. Because again, if people don't know how long it is, they won't know when a good point to stop is. It's just
wow.
like, again, what happened?
Be thankful that at least you have screens that tell you, oh, you're done with this chapter.
Say what?
Be thankful that at least you have that. I'm like thinking, oh, there are other RPGs who are like, go. There are no story, no chapter, no nothing. This is your game. Go.
Stop being
finish
so petty. Oh my gosh. You are being petty with this. Anyway, yeah. Visual checkpoints, even FGO does it. Like, you got section 1, but you got, like, 7 acts. You see a visual thing there of how much longer you have to go. Granted, I will say Honkai Impact 3rd still has the problem where one whole act can take an hour, but still.
Actually, hold on. Isn't it comparing it to FGO a little cheating? Because every single arrow is just one cutscene. Imagine if just one
battle.
Imagine if just one cutscene was a thing in Sorrow. How many fucking arrows do you think you would have? Like a billion per episode.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. There's more story than there is exploring. There was more story in this than there was exploring.
I mean, they still had very, like, good dungeons.
Yeah, they had good dungeons. That is something I will compliment. Very good dungeons. Okay, what else? Anything on your mind you want to bring up?
No.
I already bitched about. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna say, I doubt people will get this far. Do not buy this, okay? Please do not buy this. It is not worth it.
Wait, this? Oh, you have something on screen.
Yeah. This is basically the equivalent of $45. You get a multi, but you already would have gotten 2 multis and a half with how many you have to purchase with this. And you think, oh, you get all this stuff. No, you select 2 each.
One each.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. It's like that.
Yep.
Yeah, $45. And even, here's the thing. $45, and I at first thought you get all of this. And even then I was saying like, nah, not worth it at all. Now I realize you don't even get that. You just choose. Absolutely not worth it. The only value I can see in this is newer players wanting to get a head start, which you gotta be the biggest of whales just going in for the first time to consider that. Lane, did we ever bring it up, like really go into it on what we think of others saying this story is a Yap Fest? I feel like that's something we should have brought up at the start.
No, we literally just went through it. Like, people complaining that the story's too long, that's just a bunch of talking.
Which... I'm sorry, did you forget the game you're playing?
Also, points to FGO.
FGO has many problems, but its story ain't one of them.
I know, again, I have nothing against FGO's story. But the main thing is, like, if you think this is a bunch of talking and not showing stuff,
A bunch of talking, not showing. Just imagine going through the same link.
imagine that, but it's all 2D pictures.
2D pictures.
No, it's gonna.
2D pictures and no voices.
Yeah, no voice acting, just a bunch of PNGs here and there. No, hooray! And somehow the story will be better than HSR's.
Oh,
Go play some. Go play some actual visual novels and then call me.
Yeah. Or get on my level. Go play Honkai Impact 3rd. We don't even have English voice acting there. And the story is still better than Honkai Star Rail. I'm not wrong.
I mean, you're not wrong.
We can like HSR as much as we want, but the story is not its selling point.
No.
Nah.
That's too harsh. The only time I ever felt remotely close to that was the Shinjo Lafu story. If the story quality had matched the Shinjo Lafu with everything else, I would not be nearly as invested.
Honestly, our return trip to the Xian show was a lot more engaging.
It actually was more engaging than our first time there.
Though, like, I mean, some of the stuff was pretty good still.
Yeah. Also, I remember I saw this one video of people being like, oh, Genshin and Honkai Star Rail should have more cinematics, not just one big one at the start, at the end. And I'm just like, doesn't really matter, except for maybe action-focused scenes, I guess.
And then they added a few more, like, actual cinematic cutscenes in this.
Yeah, they actually did add quite a number. Also, I will just say, people saying that this is a Yap Fest and give Wuthering Waves the same glory. I looked it up. Wuthering Waves was like 6.5 hours of pure cutscenes. Actually, no, 6.8 hours of cutscenes. 6 hours, 8 minutes of cutscenes. While this game was apparently 8 hours and such of cutscenes. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit longer, but look, I went through Wuthering Waves 2.0 story, and I don't think it's the second coming compared to Honkai Star Rail story. So it's like, you want to call this a Yap Fest, go look at Wuthering Waves, because they did a lot of the similar stuff. Amphorius only had 22 minutes up. You know, I was about to question you, but then I'm just like, oh, you're talking about, like, the cinematic cutscenes. For this patch, I just searched it up. The Lafu had an amazing ending. Special lines with Jun Yuan against Fantilia. Okay, yeah, I will agree there. Jin Yuan versus Fantilia. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Especially the trash talk he gave her. Like, the weeds in my garden give me more trouble, or something like that. Also, the music of this area. So damn good.
I love the music here.
The music here. Is it better than Penacony, though? Because that's hard. That's a hard boss.
For the general, like, areas?
For the general areas, I think Penacony did better.
No. I had to say for the general, for, like, a lot of the general areas, this definitely does a better job. I'd rather...
I guess the city-like areas aren't as good as the Penacony music in city areas.
Really?
But the dungeon areas, I do think, had a better OST.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm... Like, so I guess I'm a little bit... Or... words
That is
cannot.
true. Penacony had great music for some areas. The one where we take Firefly to her base is so... Well, that was cheating. That was Robin's song. Which, you know, that...
No, that is one of the areas I'm like, okay, when it comes to this area specifically, this had great music, and I love it. Maybe it's just some of the, like, trumpets I'm not too keen on, like, constantly listening to.
I will say, Penacony's battle music, I do like it more than what I've heard from the regular battle music here.
Actually, isn't this just the Sonic Adventure 2 debate? Oh, Penacony has better vocal shit than this one.
No!
It is completely different.
I know. I'm kidding.
Stop trying to burn the world, sweetie. Anyway.
I'm not even going to entertain that. As much as I love that debate. Because I know I'm right.
Anyway, we're not turning that into this.
Okay. Yeah.
I still think that the Penacony battle music, for like, both when you're asleep and actually, I guess it was mainly when.
In the Dreamscapes.
Dreamscapes. That's what I was looking for. Dreamscapes.
Yeah, in the Dreamscapes, the Opera House battle music, I actually really love.
Yeah, that was really good.
Those strings just like, oof, yeah.
Now, I will say this. We've only had one to really go off of. But the boss battle music compared to Penacony's, that's where Amphorius takes it. Cause
I mean, if we're not counting the Sunday fight where it goes into Robin's song,
Well, we can't even count that yet because we haven't.
Or do we?
Again, the Amphorius just launched, so I'm just going off by like.
I guess this would have to compare to like our battle with Sleepy, which I don't even remember if he had like actual boss music.
I think he had a battle theme. I think.
Yeah, I think so. That's how bad it was. But like the battle against Nicodor.
No, I'm not talking to like No, Sunday is a weekly boss. We don't even have a weekly boss here, so that's not fair.
Talking about mini bosses.
Mini bosses, or at least multi-health bosses, like the
Sleepy
bosses that are gonna show up in MOC.
Yeah, Sleepy, Aventurine.
Aventurine's boss theme was kind of a bop, I won't lie.
Oh yeah, it's a bop.
It's a bop, but fuck his boss fight.
For a mini boss fight, the one from this patch was fuck yes.
That music was so epic. The Heliobi from the Lotfoot. Wait, what?
Cirrus.
I don't really remember that one.
The giant eyeball.
I'm gonna be real, I don't remember that one. I don't remember that song.
I don't remember it too much either.
Again, we can't compare, like, weekly bosses, because they're usually on a more grand and epic level, except for the bug. That bug... Why is that bug a weekly boss? Out of all the...
Oh, Scaricabaz?
Yeah, out of all, like, the weekly bosses we have.
I actually don't mind Scaricabaz.
We have the epic Echo of War destruction. We have the final battle of Belobog. Fucking Vantilia. We have the final battle against Sunday, which is just grand. Then we have the Inner Beast battlefield, and then we just have the bug.
Yeah, we have...
Why is this thing a weekly boss? It's... Out of everything here, it's the most unfitting.
Yeah, you're right, honestly.
Ron May's creation wants to be important too.
I exist!
I exist! Hey, I'll give you this. You're until Shadowface Shao, you're the biggest pain in the butt weekly boss to deal with.
Honestly, yeah, I did Shadowface Shao for my weekly bosses this time. I think Link Shell was definitely the way that I was able to beat it with my Firefly team.
Yeah. Okay, what else is there to say about the story? We already went over that there should be a checkpoints, visual checkpoints for the story. Also, actually, now that I think about it, maybe one of the reasons they added where you can fight bosses at lower difficulty is just because of that stupid bug. Because I remember one complaint people had if they were newer players and they were trying to catch up to Penacony, they literally could not progress because they could not beat the bug.
Oh yeah, that explains the lower difficulty switch.
Yeah. And maybe there was similar complaints for Boris. Was that his name? Boris?
Or you mean the Borison? Hule?
Yeah, Hule. Hule was actually pretty hard, I won't lie.
Oh yeah, Hule was a challenge.
Yeah, Hule was a challenge, and so was the weekly.
Like as a mini boss.
Yeah.
Eventually.
The thing is, I remember beating Aventurine pretty easily. Except in MOC, where he was a bitch.
Nah, Aventurine is annoying because of those invulnerability frames.
Yup. Hule as a fight was really fun, and he still comes around in MOC. Yeah, Hule in MOC, I feel like that's when you have to have a shielder, because gosh darn, your healer may not be able to keep up. I'm trying to think, what else is there to discuss? Man, we didn't even discuss the overall vibe we think of here. What are you know what? I'll let you take the floor, because you're the God of War fan here.
I love the Greek aesthetic is so fucking good.
It really is.
And it's like, it's definitely it's towing the line between like full-on Greek mythology and incorporating others. Like, rather than Hades, it's Thanatos and stuff like that.
And every time I hear Thanatos, I think of Persona 3.
Yeah, like the use of the constellations, a lot of parallels to Greek heroes' journeys.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, I know this is really late into the video, but I do kinda, I know I brought it up in one of our chats earlier. I do kind of find it funny how Castoris is portrayed as this really gentle, loving person when her debut artwork made her look like evil Elysia.
Well, like her entire like debut thing was, yeah, she's just associated with death. So I guess everyone assumed like she would be just like a very dark and gloomy type of character.
And then Aglaia, we thought, would be this really laid down, relaxed person.
I would have more said like an actual like motherly type. But no, we were
fucking wrong there.
I was gonna say, Aglaia seems like just bigger Shiori. But no, that wasn't correct.
Yeah, she, oh boy, she's definitely the most threatening of all the characters, even more than the Death Avatar.
One of my friends pointed out that Aglaia's eyes just don't have light / life.
Yeah, I don't...
Oh, yeah, they made a comment. They thought, we apparently originally thought she was blind.
Apparently, the way she worded it made it sound like she is, but her senses are so in tune, she can basically see better than if she did have sight.
As long as she has those golden threads.
Yep. Did we discuss our thoughts on Mighty?
Yes.
We discussed, we did. I do remember that. It's like you said you didn't like him at first, but he really grew on you.
Yeah, really grew on us. Okay. Do we think this is a digital world?
Where in the hell did that come from?
Well, because of the bugs that you find that leave behind emojis, and the Black Tide looks like
the Black Tide literally looking like data.
Like it's hacking.
Like it's hacking.
Honestly, I don't want to say it is, because that feels like too much of a close retread to what we literally just did in Penacony.
How?
I mean, a dream world is no real different from a digital world at that point.
Not really. There's a
like, are you? Are we really going to go from Dream Drop to the Matrix?
It's like, are we really going to go from one world, but it's not actually real, to another world, but it's not actually real?
I mean, I'm just saying that's what Danganronpa did.
No, it didn't. It went from one world, but it's in a different time than what we thought, to then another world, but it's not actually real.
Look, I'm just saying the signs are there. And what really pushed it was the fact that we didn't just see a memory. We literally went back in time with Mem.
That's more of a thing with Yeah, that's more of a thing with Mem than it is with the actual
Mem
world.
is not going to be able to do that once we're out of here. I guarantee that.
I mean, more than likely, yeah. The main thing is that we literally needed Mem in order to do that.
Yeah.
We needed Mem, and we needed materials that Mem knew that we would need to get. So it's not like just a thing with this world. Considering Mem isn't part of the actual world, it's a gift from the Remembrance Aeon.
Not to mention the way they explain when you can use the time powers to make things like uncollapse, and they're just like, oh no, it's not controlling time, it can only go back a certain point. And I'm like, Again, the digital bugs with the emojis, the black tide, the fact that we literally went back into the past instead of it just being a memory. I feel like we're gonna find out at some point this is a digital world. And it would also explain why Amphorius isn't able to be found by anyone.
Except, a mirror of the Remembrance, which I would assume that if it was a digital world that can only be seen by the Remembrance.
Or it maybe has something to do with March 7th. Because maybe she's from Amphorius originally. Who knows?
I mean, that's kind of like...
Oh! I just realized something, dark. What if March 7th's memories are sealed of this world before it was actually, like, destroyed slash bad ended, but the people left, like, a digital imprint or something of it? I'm just saying, it's not impossible. What, you don't believe it?
No.
My train of thought is, following your digital world theory, maybe they're just keeping this in like digital, no technology, no bullshit, just ancient Greece, yada 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 bullshit because they want to preserve humanity good because they're scared of technology or something. I don't know.
No, they have their own version
technology.
of phones.
Okay. Fantasy world.
Fantasy world, we don't have an explanation of why the Titans won't let humanity leave the stars. I mean, the clouds.
I mean, at that point, it would be just like a, generational shock.
Yeah.
Because this is still, from what we can understand of the civilization, it is still a very early developing world. I don't think they would be quite too accepting of. Yeah,
I mean, they still have phones. That's the weird thing. They have phones.
That is true. Fuck.
Yeah, I just shut your argument down there. It's like, wait a sec. No, phones were... like, cell phones were
the most I could say is, like, the equivalent of a Sheikah slate.
And that doesn't help your argument.
It doesn't help my argument, but ancient technology is still technically technology.
I'm trying to think, what other...
Though, I think it was yesterday, like, when we were talking about Finan about, like, the Aeons and stuff, I said, just wait till you tell him about the Space IRS.
Space IRS. Although, that's actually another question. How is it they accept credits here?
That was my big thing of, like, you literally went into the past of Amphorius, and you bought weapons with IPC credits.
That's either a plot hole or...
It's like we do not have enough time to really like try and justify this.
I'm trying to think. What other technology have we seen here that looks like modern?
Well, mostly they focus on those miracles.
Actually, they have the floating platforms that go up. We don't even have that.
Basically elevators.
Yeah, elevators.
But then again, there's also the fact that they have, or they basically do have a sort of magic in this world.
They do, but their phones definitely aren't the magic.
Well, I don't really know like how their phone technology actually works.
It's like a
Though
mix
apparently,
of.
though, if anything to go by, it's still compatible with our phones. Because we literally got a text message from Aglaya at the end of the story.
Yeah, true. Still can't contact the Express though.
Yeah, we still can't contact the Express, but no, we can get text messages from Aglaya.
Actually, that further brings into my whole digital world theory, because that would easily be able to stop electric communication like that. Or do we want to bring in?
No,
I'm not gonna bring in the bad ending if you choose to leave Amphorius, because let's be honest, it doesn't make sense. It even says
okay.
you somehow managed to leave the world without being attacked by the Titan again. It's like, nah.
Well, for one, like our fucking train car was wrecked.
Yeah, somehow in that it's like, oh yeah, the Chrysosaurus.
I was gonna say,
build it.
even before we decided to depart depart via the car, they said that we were going to be out of like communication range.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I remember talking specifically. It's like, we're gonna be out of out of a certain communication range. You can use the car as your base.
Also, Lane, I feel like you're only like against the idea of it being like a digital world just because we've actually played like a few games that actually have that twist. And
no, I mostly feel like it's too soon compared to what the big story we just basically went through.
The thing is, we always knew we were in a dream world.
Well, yeah, but it's also, Dawn, if this is a digital world, as you claim, that means literally any deaths that happen here are inconsequential.
Elysian Realm would like to speak to you!
We knew those people were real from the beginning. We don't know if these people are real if this is a digital world.
Elysian Realm, we knew, were people from thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And just because we knew it was in the past didn't make it hurt any less when they died.
I don't care. It means that this is inconsequential at this point.
Plus, it would also fit, again, the Flame Chasers, Honkai Impact 3rd, a lot of references to that.
Yeah, even though they said, please do not make references to it.
That's still one of the dumbest things of the sponsorship.
Well, no, I'm talking about even in 3.0, it's like, yeah, we know that there are a lot of parallels to Honkai Impact 3rd. These are not those characters.
When did they say that, specifically?
At the very beginning of 3.0. When they were talking about, or when they talked about the story of Amphorius.
Oh, you mean the live
special
stream
program. Yeah.
I feel like the only reason they say that is so you won't accidentally spoil others that don't get what the reference material is. It's like the I don't know, that this isn't an accurate comparison, but it's Just like, look, just because you've read the light novel, don't talk to anyone about the game adaptation, okay?
But like, okay, I'm willing to take an L if I'm ever proven wrong. Like, I took the L when I was proven wrong that Firefly was Sam. Like, you remember?
Oh yeah, I forever get to hold that on you. And the best part was the color theory was right.
Fucking color theory. But yeah, look, if I am proven wrong again, and this does happen to be a digital world, I'll take the L. Like, if I am legitimately proven wrong, I have no qualms about that.
I mean, same here. If I'm wrong, okay, I'm wrong.
Though, I guess this time, if you are wrong, I get to at least say, okay, now we're even.
Maybe. But again, would fit all the strong references to Honkai Impact 3rd, like the 12 Flame Chaser, no, the 12 Titans, and there were 13 Flame Chasers, but Elysia supposedly was not counted among them, so it was technically 12. And not to mention, the Cryos heirs, them flat out saying, like, oh yeah, not all of us, like, get along, and I'm like, huh, how about that? The Flame Chasers didn't get along that much either. Some of them were just flat out evil characters.
I will say, one thing about this, or about the Herda story, I'm a little upset we kind of got cock teased. And it's like,
by talking to the Aeon.
Yeah, it's like I'm kind of in the same thing as Herda. It's like, we're so close, just had to barge in here.
She's just like, you could not wait 30 minutes later.
Look, I know the spaceship is dark. I know no one's around here, because, you know, I don't want... And I wanted to be alone, because apparently, if Noose looks this way, this entire space station might be fucking evaporated.
So, wait, does that mean that when she tries something like this, she basically tells everyone, get off the station for now?
Yeah, no, that was at the very end of 2.7 when we got the first glimpse of her, like, her actual self. She literally sent Asta and all the other people away, saying, yeah, please get off the space station, I'm going to be doing something.
Actually, yeah, that does, it's actually very considerate of her, honestly.
Well, it's like, she wants to, or like, she's willing to risk her own life to find these answers. She's not going to fuck over basically an entire research facility team just for her.
The thing is, before we knew True Herda, I honestly could have seen Puppet Herda doing that. But again, Puppet Herda was fucking cold.
And she just didn't, or at that, or for the smaller stuff, she was just like, get on with it.
Okay, what else is there? What else? Oh yeah, my predictions for Finon, he's going to fail his trial. Like, I feel confident in saying that he's gonna fail it, and then, as you said, Mighty is gonna be the one to inherit the Titan strife.
Yeah. So, I am kind of wondering, because we've met all the characters that are currently on banners or revealed to be on banners. So I'm wondering who the 3.2 reveals are going to be.
You know, yeah, you want to know what I'm wondering more than anything is the sheer amount of flame chasers we have to go through.
Yep.
Do we believe that all of them will be 5 stars, or do we think some of them might get 4-star?
Some of them might get 4-starred. This story is going to be expanding a lot of patches.
I mean, they did say that Emphorius is basically going to take all year to go through. So, it might actually be possible that all of these are going to be 5 stars.
Yeah, assuming that we wouldn't get any characters that weren't Flame Chasers as 5 stars, then yeah, that would be at least 5 or 6 or 5.5 patches technically.
Do you remember when I unlocked this character's quote unquote saga, and I'm like, oh, we're almost done with the chapter, and we have 11 more of these. Oh boy, are we into it.
By the way, you're not even done with them. You're not even done with them. You see this? You see this like fuck. Yeah, go ahead, Lane. I'll say my bit later.
There's 3 more for me to unlock, actually. I just haven't gone through it.
Don can write 3 more stories unlocked right now.
Well, okay, what I was saying is, do you see that there's a yellow line going from their portrait into the center, and it's only at the first thought? Yeah, you have a lot more to go through.
Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking. It's like
I feel like it's going to add every time we learn something of more value about the character and their past and such.
Oh yeah, but you're just going to be writing more stories. This is literally the lore building patch. The lore building story. They're going to get so much lore to read through.
Yup. Yeah, I have like like I said, yeah, I got 3 more to go through, but I don't feel like doing it right now. I can't think of too much more.
Ábreme de vuelta cuando quieras. Ábreme de vuelta cuando digas. Ahora, ¿vale?
What do you say?
Hmm? Wait, was that coming through?
Yeah, your voice is coming through.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Wait, hold on a sec. Son of a... Hold on.
Did they mean to?
I want to kill myself. It's been with the webcam mic this whole time.
You know, I was wondering why your mic sounded like shit, but I wasn't gonna ask.
I thought you were like on your phone or something.
I can't really think of anything more.
Why did it stop?
Discord is like that. If you, like, ever unplug your mic in any way, it's like, oh, I don't know what to use anymore. Yeah, I think we kind of got everything. I think we kind of got all our thoughts for 3.0 out. But gosh darn, if they really are gonna start making Honkai Star Rail stories as long as Honkai Impact Thirds. Oh boy. I will have to be like, okay, launch stream. We're not going through it in one session. That's probably what I'm gonna do next time, is see how long 3.1 story, and I'm just gonna be like, alright, we're gonna do this in like 2 or 3 streams. Because again, I know I brought it up, but the reason I kept going as long as I did last night was because I thought we were so close to the end a number of times.
Okay, so I'm going through the story myself. Tribby just says, you can also use any currency you have on you. The scales of the Law Titan will determine the value of all items, so there's no need to worry about being penniless.
Oh, right. I forgot they mentioned that. I'm going to enjoy the amount of stupid people that are just like, oh, this story too long. The funny thing was, I called it before people started doing it. What would you rate the story out of 10? Because I'd probably give it, like, somewhere between a 7.5 to an 8.
Starting out, I'd say an 8.
I'd say an 8 as well. For reference, Gotcha Smack, even though he hadn't finished, the story, he was apparently like 4.5 hours in, and he said it was like a 6.5.
Eh.
I'm trying to think. At what point in the story would you be 5 hours in? Probably about to fight the Titan for the first time.
The real Titan.
The real Titan before, you know, you get sent on going to the Time Titan.
Yeah.
Some people
Like,
could argue side quest, and it's like, no, that's not a side quest.
That is not a side quest.
Oh yeah, I guess another thing to discuss, do you think, Herta massively power creeps other characters? Because, if anything, she doesn't feel like...
No, she does not.
Yeah, she does not feel like when Acheron dropped, or when Fei Xiao dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because, again, she's an Emanator, and Emanators are usually pretty fucking strong. Like, Fei Xiao. She's the strongest boss killer in the game, and I'm not gonna deny that.
I think the main thing right now is that it's kind of weird going with supports for her. Like, it's Herta's kit's really wonky. Because, like, when I look up at teams, most people say, oh, if you're using the Jade Linksha team with Herta, you want to use Jade's buff on Linksha.
That is weird.
Yeah, because apparently Linksha's attack frequency will just build up more stuff for Herta.
Honestly, one thing that bothered me from what I've seen, her ultimate does not hit that hard, but her enhanced skill hits like a fucking truck.
Well, that's the thing. That's literally the point. The enhanced skill is more damaging than the ultimate.
No, I'm fine with that. It's just, you know, ultimate usually means like big damage or such, but really seems like she has one of the weaker ultimates from what I've seen.
I mean, it's literally a utility ultimate.
Yeah, it's a utility.
Its entire thing is it deal a little bit of damage, rearrange all the stacks so that your skill is at its best when you attack a certain enemy, and then give you your enhanced skill, which is your main damage deal.
I guess the way I would compare it is, like, whenever... How do I phrase this? Her ultimate hits like a wet tissue, okay? I'm gonna be real. It looks like it barely deals damage, and that bothers the hell out of me. I'm fine with it not doing as much damage as the enhanced skill. But for as much flare as it sets up, you feel like it should do more damage.
Let me see. Ultimate. 200% of Herta's attack to all enemies. When using the ultimate, increase the Herta's attack by 80%, lasting for 3 turns. And after use, immediately takes action.
Let's see, we're 100% of Fu Shuan's max HP. But I guess the multipliers for like her ultimate are low or something, but whatever.
Completely off topic, but I'm very excited about Remembrance. But even if I don't play the game, because Yeah, because you know, hunt is single target, destruction is AoE, abundance is healing. Remembrance can be whatever the hell you want with a summon.
Pretty much.
From what we have right now, it's basically based on speed.
Which is probably gonna change with, might change with Caceres if that one set is anything to go by.
No, like just imagine a remembrance character that summons like 5 guys that taunt and take damage for other people, or a remembrance character that follows up after somebody does a single target. Remembrance is just whatever the hell you want. I'm so excited.
I mean, let's be real. Honkai Star Rail has kind of been breaking what paths are expected to do for a while. Like abundance, pure healing. Lingsha, how about no?
I mean, no, you're in the middle of a video. I won't discuss leaks.
Yeah, we're not gonna discuss links. Besides, we probably already know them. Maybe. But, okay, legit, I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else really to, mention. Can you guys? Any overall thoughts or fears for this?
No. Alright.
Did we... I think we talked about how humanity might be the ones that causes the downfall of this world.
Yeah, you talked about that. You talked about a lot of stuff, Don.
Yeah, I know. Just making sure I got all my points. Well, it's not like this thing can't be a little longer. It's only an hour 46. What am I gonna title this thing? I'm not sure. Okay,
a long and overdrawn discussion of
of 3.0.
Of 3.0.
Yeah, okay. I think that's legitimately everything. Yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us if you like these long, drawn-out discussions, because we had a lot to say. Or I had a lot to say. No shots to you, Lane. You're a lot more concise than I am.
Especially since I still need to personally go through the story.
Well, you've basically seen all of it, yeah.
As much as I can while I'm at work.
Yeah. Well, you'll get to see the Firefly thing.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell us if you want to see more of this. We shall see you all on the next video. Later!